The chamber of the Galactic Council was larger than any city on Earth. It floated in space, surrounded by stars and glowing nebula clouds. Inside, hundreds of alien species sat in a perfect circle. Each one looked different. Some were tall and covered in silver armor. Some had glowing skin. Others had eyes that shined like stars. At the center of the chamber stood a single human. He was not wearing armor. He had no weapons. Just a simple uniform with the symbol of Earth on his chest. His name was Ambassador Elias Varn. He stood calm, his hands behind his back, his face serious but controlled. Around him, the council watched. Then, the silence broke. A deep, heavy voice echoed through the chamber. It came from a massive alien leader, known as High Commander Zoreth. His body was huge, covered in dark scales, and his glowing red eyes stared directly at the human. "So this is humanity," Zoreth said, his voice filled with mockery. "Small. Weak. Slow." Some of the other species began to laugh. The laughter spread quickly across the chamber. Strange sounds filled the air, clicking, hissing, and low growls. To them, this was entertainment. Elias did not move. Zoreth continued, "We have studied your kind. You fight among yourselves. You destroy your own planet. And yet, you ask for a place in this council." More laughter. Another alien spoke, a tall figure with glowing blue skin. "They have no advanced fleet. No real power. Why are they even here?" Elias finally spoke. His voice was calm, clear, and steady. "We are here because we seek cooperation," he said. "Not conflict." That made the council laugh even louder. Zoreth leaned forward. "Cooperation? You are in no position to ask for anything." Elias looked around the chamber. He saw the faces of powerful empires. Civilizations that had ruled space for thousands of years. But he also saw something else. Pride. Too much pride. He took a small breath and spoke again. "Respect is better than regret." For a moment, the chamber went silent. Then Zoreth smiled, a cold and cruel expression. "Regret?" he said slowly. "You dare threaten us?" "I am not threatening," Elias replied. "I am warning." That was enough. Zoreth raised one massive hand. "The council has heard enough. Humanity will not be given equal status. Instead, we place restrictions on your world. No trade. No alliances. No support." A bright symbol appeared in the air above them. The decision was official. Earth was now alone. Some council members nodded in agreement. Others simply watched in silence. No one defended humanity. Elias stood still for a few seconds. Then he nodded once. "Understood," he said quietly. He turned and began to walk away. As he left the center of the chamber, the laughter started again. To them, this was over. Humanity had been put in its place. But far away, near the edge of human space, something else was beginning. A small human colony orbited a distant planet. It was peaceful. Workers moved between stations. Ships came and went. There were families there, living quiet lives. Then, without warning, dark ships appeared in the sky. They did not send messages. They did not ask questions. They attacked. Energy blasts rained down on the colony. Defense systems tried to respond, but they were too slow. Buildings exploded. Ships were destroyed before they could escape. The people had no time. Within minutes, the colony was gone. The attackers left as quickly as they came. No signal. No explanation. Back in the council chamber, reports started coming in. One of the alien species had made a move. They had attacked humanity. Some council members looked surprised. Others did not care. Zorith simply smiled. "Let this be a lesson," he said. "This is what happens to weak species." No one objected. No one spoke for Earth. And on Earth, there was silence. No message. No anger. No response. Days passed. Then weeks. Still nothing. Across the galaxy, whispers began to spread. Humans are afraid. They will do nothing. They have accepted their place. Even the council believed it. They thought the story was finished. But deep in space, hidden far from every known system, something moved. Ships were being built. Massive ones. Silent ones. Weapons were being tested. New systems were coming online. And on Earth, leaders stood together for the first time in history. No more divisions. No more small conflicts. Only one goal. Preparation. Humanity was not shouting. Humanity was not reacting. Humanity was watching. Waiting. Learning. And building. Because the truth was simple. They were not weak. They were patient. And as the galaxy laughed and turned away, humanity began to change. Quietly. Completely. And when they were ready, everything would be different. Because humanity was not scared. Humanity was preparing. After the destruction of the colony, the galaxy expected anger from Earth. They expected messages, threats, maybe even a weak attempt at revenge. But nothing came. No signals. No ships. No response. To the Galactic Council, this silence meant only one thing: humanity had accepted defeat. Inside the council chamber, the topic of humans slowly faded away. Other conflicts, other empires, other politics took their attention. The destruction of one small colony seemed unimportant to them now. "They are finished," one council member said. "They were never a threat," another added. Even High Commander Zorith lost interest. In his mind, humans were already history. But far away from the eyes of the galaxy, Earth was not silent. Earth was changing. Deep under oceans, massive structures were being built in secret. In space, far beyond known trade routes, hidden shipyards came to life. Asteroids were hollowed out. Moons were turned into factories. Humanity had stopped talking to the galaxy. Because they had started talking to each other. For the first time in history, all nations worked together. Old conflicts were forgotten. Borders became meaningless. Every resource, every mind, every system was focused on one goal. Survival. And something more. Revenge, but not careless revenge. Calculated. Precise. Controlled. New ships were designed, faster than anything seen before. They did not use normal engines. They moved in ways that confused even human scientists at first. Artificial intelligence systems were created, not to replace humans, but to think faster during battle. Weapons were developed in silence. Not loud, not flashy, but deadly. Everything was built for one purpose. To make sure humanity would never be called weak again. Meanwhile, in deep space, a small alien scout fleet moved quietly toward Earth territory. They were curious. "Let's see what is left of them," their commander said. The fleet entered human space. At first, everything seemed empty. No patrol ships. No defense stations. No signals. "Nothing here," one of them said. Then suddenly, their systems flickered. One ship lost control. Another went completely dark. "What is happening?" the commander shouted. Before they could react, something moved in the darkness. It was fast. Too fast. Their scanners could not lock onto it. One by one, the ships disappeared. No explosions. No warnings. Just gone. Within minutes, the entire scout fleet vanished. No distress signal was sent. No data returned. Only silence. Back in the council, the fleet was marked as lost. No one investigated deeply. Space was dangerous, after all. Things disappear all the time. But a few members of the council felt something was wrong. This is not normal, one of them whispered. Still, Zorath ignored it. Stop worrying about ghosts, he said. Humans are weak. They cannot do this. And once again, the galaxy moved on. But in the darkness between stars, something was watching. Not one ship. Not 10. Hundreds. Hidden. Waiting. Their surfaces absorbed light. Their engines made no sound. Their presence left no trace. Inside those ships, human crews worked in complete focus. No fear. No panic. Only discipline. Orders came from a single command system. Clear. Simple. Direct. Wait. Observe. Do not act, yet. Time passed. Weeks turned into months. And the galaxy grew comfortable again. Trade routes reopened. Empires expanded. The council felt powerful. They believed control was still in their hands. But they were wrong. Because while they were celebrating their power, humanity was mastering theirs. Every movement of the galaxy was being recorded. Every weakness was studied. Every system was mapped. They were not rushing. They were not emotional. They were preparing the perfect moment. And then, one quiet signal was sent across human space. Short. Simple. Final. Phase 1 ready. Across the darkness, hidden fleets came alive. Engines powered up. Weapons activated. Targets locked. And for the first time since the colony attack, humanity was ready to respond. Not with words. Not with warnings. But with action. Because this was never about anger. This was never about pride. This was about balance. And now, that balance was about to break. Something was coming. Fast. Silent. Unstoppable. And the galaxy had no idea what it had just awakened. The galaxy was at peace. At least, that's what everyone believed. Trade ships moved freely between systems. Large empires continued to grow. The Galactic Council remained confident, sitting high above all others, believing control was still in their hands. No one noticed the small changes. A signal delay here. A missing patrol there. A system glitch that lasted only a second. Too small to matter. Too quiet to fear. Until the first strike began. It did not start with noise. It started with silence. In the outer region of the Carthos Empire, the same species that destroyed the human colony, an entire defense station suddenly went offline. No warning. No distress signal. One moment it was there, the next, it was gone. Nearby ships tried to contact it. No response. What happened? A commander asked. Before anyone could answer, their sensors detected something. Movement. Fast. Unidentified objects appeared at the edge of their system. They did not match any known ship design. No energy signature. No clear shape. Scan them, the commander ordered. The system failed. Lock weapons. No lock. Prepare defense. Too late. In a single moment, the unknown ships moved. They crossed impossible distances in seconds. Their speed broke every known rule of space travel. One by one, Carthos ships went dark. No explosions. No loud battles. Just precision. Each target was hit exactly where it would shut down completely. Engines stopped. Weapons died. Power cores collapsed. Within minutes, the entire defense line of Carthos space was gone. Then the human fleet revealed itself. Hundreds of ships, dark and sharp, appeared like shadows becoming real. Their surfaces reflected almost no light. Their formation was perfect. Cold. Organized. Controlled. Inside one of the command ships, a human officer watched everything calmly. "No civilian targets," he said. "Only military," another officer confirmed. "Proceed." Across the system, key military bases were destroyed one after another. Communication towers fell. War factories shut down. Command centers disappeared. Carthos forces tried to fight back. They launched their strongest fleets. But every move they made was already known. Every attack was predicted before it even began. Human ships moved like they could see the future. Carthos commanders panicked. "This is impossible. They are everywhere. We cannot track them." Their fleets were not just losing. They were being erased. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, alarms suddenly filled the air. Multiple systems under attack. Entire fleets gone. Emergency signals flashing everywhere. Zorith stood up, his expression no longer calm. "What is happening?" he demanded. A council officer responded quickly, fear in his voice. "It's humanity." Silence. For the first time, no one laughed. Zoritha's eyes narrowed. "That is not possible." But the data was clear. System after system was falling. Fast. Precise. Unstoppable. A transmission suddenly appeared in the center of the chamber. Unknown source. Unstoppable signal. The council had no choice but to watch. The screen lit up. A human figure appeared. Same calm posture. Same steady eyes. Ambassador Elias Varn. "You were warned," he said. No anger in his voice. No emotion. Just truth. The message ended. Silence filled the chamber. For the first time in its history, the Galactic Council felt fear. Back in Carthos space, the final defense fleet made its last stand. Thousands of ships gathered for one final battle. Human ships faced them without hesitation. Then, everything moved at once. Light flashed across the darkness. But again, it was not chaos. It was control. Every human attack was clean. Every movement had purpose. Within moments, the Carthos fleet was gone. Not damaged. Not defeated. Gone. Completely erased. And then, human ships stopped. They did not celebrate. They did not chase. They simply held position. Watching. Waiting. Because this was not the end. This was only the beginning. Across the galaxy, panic began to spread. Empires that once felt powerful now questioned everything. If humanity could do this to Carthos, who was next? And the most terrifying part? Humans were not attacking everyone. Only those who had crossed the line. This was not random destruction. This was something far more dangerous. It was justice. Cold. Precise. Unforgiving. And as the galaxy struggled to understand what was happening, one truth became clear. Humanity had changed. And they were no longer the weakest species in the galaxy. They were something else now. Something the galaxy had never seen before. Something no one was ready for. And they had just made their first move. The galaxy was no longer calm. After the destruction of the Carthos fleets, fear spread faster than any signal. Trade routes slowed. Border systems shut down. Entire civilizations began to hide their fleets, unsure of what would happen next. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council called an emergency session. The great chamber filled again, but this time, it felt different. No laughter. No pride. Only tension. Zorith stood at the center, but his voice was no longer full of confidence. "This is not just an attack," he said. "This is a planned war." A smaller council member spoke, its voice shaking. "We underestimated them." No one disagreed. Screens around the chamber displayed real-time updates. One by one, systems that had supported the attack on humanity were going dark. Military bases were disappearing. War fleets were being wiped out before they could even organize. "They are targeting only specific empires," another member said. "Those who acted against them." Zorith clenched his fist. "Then we unite. All fleets. All power. We strike back together." For the first time, the council agreed without argument. Orders were sent across the galaxy. Every allied fleet was called. Thousands of ships. Different species. Different technologies. One massive force. The largest fleet ever assembled. Their target, humanity. Meanwhile, far beyond known space, human command received the signal. "They are gathering everything," an officer reported. The human commander looked at the data calmly. "Expected," he said. "Do we engage?" another officer asked. He paused for a moment. Then gave a single order. Phase 2. Across hidden regions, more human fleets activated. Ships larger than anything seen before slowly moved out of the darkness. Some were as big as cities. Others carried weapons that had never been used. This was not just a fleet. This was a system. A machine built for war. Back at the Council fleet, confidence slowly returned. The numbers were overwhelming. "No species can stand against this," Zorith said. The combined fleet moved forward, entering the outer edge of human-controlled space. At first, nothing. Empty space. No defenses. No ships. "They are hiding," one commander said. "Push forward," Zorith ordered. The fleet advanced deeper. And then, everything changed. Space itself seemed to shift. Sensors began to fail. Navigation systems glitched. "What is happening?" Voices filled the command channels. Then, from the darkness, human ships appeared. Not from one direction. From all directions. Above. Below. Behind. Everywhere. "How did they get here?" someone shouted. No one had an answer. The human fleet did not rush. They moved slowly. Confidently. As if the battle was already decided. "Attack!" Zorith roared. The combined fleet fired everything. Energy beams, missiles, plasma waves, space lit up with destruction. But human ships moved through it. Not randomly. Perfectly. Every shot missed. Every attack failed. It was like fighting something that already knew the outcome. Then humanity responded. One signal. One command. And the galaxy's largest fleet began to fall. Ships shut down instantly. Entire sections of the fleet lost power at the same time. Communication broke. Formations collapsed. Panic spread. "We are losing control. Our systems are not responding. It's like they are inside our networks." One by one, the strongest fleets in the galaxy were disabled. Not destroyed. Stopped. Frozen in space. Only a few ships remained active, including Zoritha's command vessel. His breathing grew heavy as he looked around. This was not a battle. This was domination. A transmission appeared on his screen. He hesitated, then accepted it. Elias Varn appeared once again. Calm. Still. Unshaken. It didn't have to be this way, Elias said. Zoratha's voice was filled with anger and fear. You think you have won? Elias looked at him quietly. We never wanted to fight, he replied. But you made your choice. Zorath lowered his head slightly. For the first time, he had no answer. End this, he said slowly. We surrender. Silence followed. The words echoed across all remaining channels. The Galactic Council had surrendered. Human ships stopped moving. Weapons powered down. The battlefield became still. Thousands of ships, once ready for war, now helpless in silence. Elias gave the final command. Disable only. No destruction. The war was over. But the consequences were just beginning. Back in the council chamber, the same place where humanity was once mocked, the remaining leaders gathered again. But now, everything had changed. Zorath stood quietly, no longer a ruler, just another voice. Elias Varn entered the chamber once more. No guards. No weapons. Just calm confidence. No one laughed this time. No one spoke. Because now they understood. Humanity had not come for revenge. The war had ended, but the silence that followed felt heavier than the battle itself. Across the galaxy, fleets remained frozen in space, their systems still under human control. Entire empires waited, unsure of what humanity would do next. Would they destroy them? Would they take control? No one knew. And that fear was stronger than any weapon. Back inside the Galactic Council chamber, everything looked the same, but nothing felt the same. The same seats. The same structure. The same circle. But the power had shifted. This time, when Elias Varn walked into the chamber, no one looked at him with arrogance. They watched him with respect. And fear. He stepped into the center once again, the same place where he was once laughed at. But now, no one dared to speak over him. Elias looked around slowly. Every species. Every leader. All silent. Then he spoke. We did not come here to rule you. The word surprised many. Some exchanged quiet looks. Elias continued, his voice calm but firm. We came here because the system you built failed. A few heads lowered. No one argued. Because deep down, they knew it was true. The council had allowed power to become arrogance. It had allowed strong empires to control weaker ones. It had ignored justice, until it was too late. You saw us as weak, Elias said. So you thought we did not matter. He paused for a moment. But strength is not loud. It does not need to prove itself every moment. The chamber remained completely still. We warned you, he added softly. This time, no one forgot those words. A new display appeared in the center of the chamber. Not a weapon. Not a threat. A system. A new structure for the galaxy. No single species will control the others, Elias explained. No decisions without balance. No actions without consequence. One of the council members finally spoke, carefully. And humanity, it asked. Where do you stand in this new system? Elias looked at them directly. We stand, as guardians. Not rulers. Not conquerors. Guardians. The word spread across the chamber like a quiet wave. Outside, across the galaxy, human fleets began to move again. But not to attack. They restored power to disabled ships. They released captured systems. They allowed former enemies to return home. No revenge. No punishment. Only a message. Clear and simple. This is your second chance. Some species accepted it immediately. Others struggled with pride. But none of them challenged humanity again. Because they had seen what humans could do, when pushed too far. Back on Earth, celebrations did not happen. There were no loud victories. No parades. Only quiet understanding. Humanity had crossed a line. They had proven their strength. But more importantly, they had chosen control over destruction. In the council chamber, the final meeting of the old system came to an end. The Galactic Council was no more. In its place, a new alliance began. Built on balance. Built on respect. Built on something the galaxy had forgotten. Fairness. As the leaders slowly left the chamber, Zorith remained behind. He looked at Elias one last time. "You could have destroyed us," he said quietly. Elias nodded. "Yes. Then why didn't you?" For a moment, Elias did not answer. Then he said something simple. "Because we are not what you thought we were." Zorith lowered his head. This time, not in anger. But in understanding. Far beyond the chamber, in the endless space between stars, human fleets continued their silent watch. Not as conquerors. Not as rulers. But as something new. Something the galaxy had never known before. And as the story of this war spread from system to system, one truth became clear to every species. Humanity did not start the war. But when they are pushed too far, they always finish it.